Good morning, good evening. It's a little bit of both right now, eh? I'm coming to you in spite of being greatly afflicted, because they may be able to take a whole lot of stuff from me, to stop me, or to hinder me, but I'm still going to, until it's all gone, or until I just don't come back from the Astralscape one night. Tossing you guys a little bit out there to keep you headed in the right direction. I want to talk to you a little bit about some of my experiences that I've had on the Astralscape. Some that are entertaining and good, and some that are very heartbreaking. Yes, we'll go ahead and lay out the heartbreaking one first. You know that when I go out on the Astralscape, sometimes it's not always a voluntary thing, or sometimes I can't choose what time loop I'm in, or if I'm even getting, sometimes I can't even discern if I'm getting put into an entity in real time while they're doing something, you see. And one of my most heartbreaking instances was when I went out on the Astralscape one night and I possessed the body of the entity who had sex with the guitar goddess the very first time. I felt like it was involuntary. That I felt like it was an invasion of privacy, and I didn't want to do it, so I was trying to get the hell out of the guy. And that was my big focus. My focus wasn't on anything else. Like, usually when that happens, I try to investigate, why did I get put here? Why am I seeing this? Why am I experiencing this? But in this case, I did not want to see the occurrence. I did not want to know that it could happen without me, And it changed me, it did. I became so mean and evil after that. I mean, I just became downright demonic, right? And I don't know. It was one of those things where it's part of my penance. I was to fall in love with this entity. I was to see it all, what we could do together. I was even supposed to have the contacts, which I did at the time, to bring it all to fruition. I could have that music act that's like heart combined with like the most awesome hip-hop act, funk and fusion and dance music, just have it all there in one band, metal and all the way across the scope to the other side, because, well, I'm an accomplished jazz musician, so I bring it, you see. And to see her rather do that with him than to do these great things with me, and then what she's doing now as a result of going in that direction, it's just so diminishing, and I feel very diminished by it. And every day I'm plagued by it because, well, it's there in my memory now. I can't get rid of it. I'm going to take a second. Be right back. Alright, we're back. I had to medicate a little bit. So moving on, y'all know that I deal with that heartbreak every single day. And, I know that she's young and she will need the experiences of other guys. And, well, me being a swinger and an ex, no better word for it that people would understand. They won't know what I'm saying. And pimp, I was the perfect entity for her to hook up with, because then she could do all these things safely with me to the hilt, to the maximum. And I don't know why I went back to that, because I want to move on. We have very little time left, because this is going to be a short video. I wanted to also talk about this entity. She's a lady who, and that's what I do on purpose quite often, to relieve myself and to remind myself, what I could be, what I could have accomplished had I went in a different direction. And not wasting my life doing this stupid music shit. Because, well, yeah, I just think she knows it all, and I guess she doesn't. But yeah, this entity is quite the hot chick. She's in her sexual peak. And she's married to a trucker who has a stepson who's kind of well hung. He's like 14, 15 years old. And he's got some black friends. And he hit her up with scopolamine to get her to, she has dentures, she has some kind of problem. I have dentures, so this is one of the reasons why I like to keep going back there, is because we have that in common, where all my teeth come out, so do hers. So it's like the real woman experience, what I could be experiencing if I just would walk it out with some other entities and just walk away from this male thing altogether, which I'm getting close to doing at this point. Yeah, this entity, her evil little stepson, got her messed up on scopolamine. Y'all know that that's a mind control agent, where people will participate willingly and did not remember that they did it. And he, you know, had her doing stuff with him and stuff. And then he decided to take it further, and because he wanted her to be consciously doing, you know, what he wanted her to do, you know, like as his, you know, his slave, right? So he filmed her on scopolamine with two of his black friends. Now she's from, like, you know, out like suburbs, farm country, and they're like right on the outskirts of the city. So, you know, it's a culture clash. So he films her doing it, and then he has her, you know, I'll just give this stuff to dad, you know, and show him these videos. So now she's like his slave. She, you know, he pimps her out to the friends of his black friends, just for spite, not really for money. You know, he doesn't really care about that, doesn't seem to. And he, you know, and they fuck her in her ass a lot, and he fucks her in her ass a lot, probably at least 5-6 times a week. And yeah, so I go and I jump in her body and get used by these entities to give me a break from this entity that I am not. And this is one of the time loops, you know, that I don't know if I'm doing it in real time or if I'm hitting it in a time loop, but I found it, and I found a way back to it where I can find my way back to it without fail every time. And no matter what, if I go out on the Astralscape and I can't get anything else done, I take a half hour for myself to stop off and be her for a while. So this is like, I'm sharing something big with you right here, because this is something that's a perk to the burden of my calling, what I have to do interdimensionally, and is like, I don't know, I'm sharing, you know, that a stop that I get to make, where I get to have an awesome secret banana split. You know, it's like my secret banana split on the way back from the work I have to do on the Astralscape is this chick right here. You know, this isn't her, this is me. I didn't manage to get film footage of her, but I do like try to make videos where I'm portraying, in a sense, some of the entities, you know, loosely based on their reality, some of the entities that I have visited. This is my favorite one. I mean, I don't know if this woman probably, she could be old by now. You know, it seems like it's set at a different time. And if she sees this, you know, it's like, well, she didn't really do anything wrong. She got caught in a bad situation. She didn't get turned out to where she loves it. You know, it's like she can't imagine life any other way while this is happening. And I keep going back because I want it to progress. I want to see how many years, you know, if these guys are still doing this with her, you know, later when they're like about to go to college and stuff. Are they still hitting moms, you know, stepmoms? They're still getting ass from stepmoms. Because, well, she's pretty. She kind of looks like a feminized version of me. If I was to go get all of the stuff that I want done, what my face would look like if they did the surgeries on me. And she's got a nice little body too. And spiritual thing that they got her hooked on with the cuckolding of her husband, who she actually does love. It's like, it's the twisting of her spirit at the same time with the allure of the enslavement of the flesh. And that's what makes me want to keep going back to her, is because, well, it's kind of twisted like my entity, my life here. Because, well, y'all know that I've been given the desires of my heart in spite of myself, which I wanted to suffer. I wanted to be deprived. I wanted to repay for my evil childhood, because I was an evil entity for years, and I didn't grow out of it, the evilness, until like my 30s. You know, I couldn't see it. I couldn't see anything. I really was totally zombified and programmed, and it was like a veil over my mind where, you know, I was functional, and, you know, I was likable, and I was way more popular than after I woke up and I started seeing things, and I started seeing that I shouldn't be doing the things that I was doing, and I shouldn't be going in the directions that I was going. And I started trying to apply myself to positive frequency resonance, the generation of it, via the brainwaves of the entities that I interact with. It changed how I approach sex. It changed how I approached business when I was doing things with women, to capitalize, you know, on the things that were available to us, you know, seed to the sower, all that good stuff. There's also, there's another one that I occasionally do just to get spiritual authority away from them. And it's a sexual one too, where this chick cements herself in this ritual for fame and fortune and wealth and fertilization. She wants family and kids too. She wants it all. You know, she got it all in her head to be manifested by giving herself in a sexual ritual to the god of fame, wealth, fortune, and fertility, all that good shit. All right. Yeah, so I occasionally visit her, but that's like shallow and little compared to the fulfillment of the stepmom. The stepmom who, you know, actually, when she found out that she was being, you know, you know, controlled, mind controlled, and you know, she was shocked and she was hurt, because, well, she probably, you know, to satisfy the kid, she would have probably did this shit willingly without him having to feel like he had to coerce her and gain control of her via blackmail, you see. So yeah, that one, because of her purity of spirit or purity of heart, and, you know, you combine that with how she's so turned out in the flesh to the world at the same time. It's just like, that's the most dynamic entity I've ever had the experience of entering in a time loop, you see. I know people that, you know, I don't share this kind of stuff because people get in this thing, wow, he's a devil, he possesses shit. No. It was prophesied, the things that I was going to have to do, but people don't know what they're looking at. So everything I do looks evil to the charlatan. You know, the charlatan who's a harlot. He's engaged in charlatanry from behind the pulpit. He's getting your money, but he's giving you a brick in the box ticket. You ain't going nowhere. You see, you don't even know where the hell you're supposed to go. You don't know what the hell door you're supposed to go through. All these dumb stories that are taken from my reality here as a pre-existent in the spirit scan, I share them with the design in mind that they will help prepare a pathway for those who are supposed to walk it or drive it or whatever, travel it. And that's what I'm trying to do as I leave here, is leave the pathway illuminated so that they can find their way too. Because I'm not going to stay around here and keep being afflicted and hated. I'm going to leave. One of these times I'm not coming back. And my body will die. And my wife will be heartbroken, but she'll get over it.